Thank you for downloading this edition of the Saturday Drop-In podcast from Highland Hospital Radio. No Shannon this week, but the best news is I've got Rory and Jess with me. Hey guys.
Yay, hi.
Hi.
We've got a great show coming up for you. We have got your usual favourites of Guess the Year and Beat Detective, but we're also going to have some students from Millburn Academy telling us about the Youth Philanthropy Initiative. But coming up first, we've got Ciaran from the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service talking about home fire safety visits and keeping safe when you're having some fun this summer. We'll see you at the other side. Now, we are talking today about fire safety in the home. I've got some stats for you. In the year 2024-25, the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service were called out to 4,104 house fires across Scotland, which is a reduction of 3% from the previous year. And since 2014-15, the number's actually down over 25%. However, I was kind of blown away by this. The figures from last year show that of all the call-outs to houses, over a quarter of homes did not have a smoke alarm fitted. Scottish Fire and Rescue Service want to keep the fire risk in the home as low as possible and make sure that if a fire does break out, smoke alarms are working and will alert residents and that the residents will be able to safely evacuate and call out the fire service. With that in mind, the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service want to carry out home visits to offer support and peace of mind to those in need. Here to discuss home visits and the wider work of our Fire and Rescue Service is Watch Commander Ciaran Melens. Ciaran, welcome along to the show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking the time and coming in to see us today. We're going to talk about the home visits and just the wider work of, what the fire service does for us. So I wonder, you're the local area liaison officer, and you're as well as that, you're still an operational firefighter. So why don't you tell us about your role and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so you rightly said there that there is a reduction in house fires, and that's shown through the prevention work that we do. So as local area liaison officer, I sit within the Prevention Directorate in the service, and the Prevention Directorate plays a strategic role in helping the service achieve its vision of making Scotland safer by reducing risks before they become emergencies, really. So my role as a local area liaison officer within the Scottish Fire and Rescue is typically responsible for building relationships between the fire service, local communities, elected members, partner agencies, and that's through all the sectors, so private, public, third sector as well. So the role is largely focused on engagement, partnership work in community safety. And in terms of operational firefighting, it's responding to those 999 calls that the public make, whether that be for a house fire or RTC or water rescue. So it's a wide varying role.
It is. I mean, the role of the fire service as well has sort of changed over time, probably since you started as well, that the amount of sort of responsibilities that the fire service has taken on has really changed. I mean, I'm probably a similar age to yourself, and I think, it used to be the fire brigade, and you had a sort of thought process on what the fire brigade did, but over time, and the name of the service has changed to be fire and rescue to represent everything else that you do. And it's what you're trying to do here, particularly with the home visits, is rather than waiting until something goes wrong and we're dialing 999 to phone you, you're wanting people to get in touch with you in advance, either people directly themselves or even partner agencies, to say, could you come and check out this property and give some hints and tips, make sure everything's all right. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer this service as a home fire safety visit service, totally free of charge. And basically what a home fire safety visit is operational staff or support staff coming into the home, giving that fire risk assessment questionnaire, giving you fire safety tips, checking your smoke detectors are working within the home. And you're absolutely right as well, we can receive referrals from partner agencies too. So it's very, very important for us to get in there and make sure people are safe within their homes.
You mentioned the questionnaire, so what sort of things, when you're going into somebody's house, what sort of things are you looking for in terms of keeping them safe? Not just about fire risk, but other things as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so we can talk about electrical safety, we can give you advice in your kitchen safety, and we can also talk about escape plans and how you can get out in the event of a fire safely. So lots and lots of different things that we can talk about. We've also got the option there to have onward referrals, so maybe you're a bit hard of hearing, so we can refer you to sort of deaf services as well and get them involved, and they can come in and provide all sorts of different things such as vibrating pillows, strobe lighting. So we want to get to those that are most vulnerable.
That's quite interesting. In your time, I think you said to me you've been doing this role now for about 18 months now. What would you say is maybe changed in terms of the home that's maybe has fire risk increased or decreased? Because we know the numbers are coming down for the number of call-outs, but in the home, are we better at it now? Because I remember sort of being warned about, having multiple jumper plug, like all your 4-gang plugs and stuff. Is that still an issue, or has it come down, going up?
So every home's different. Every home we go into is different, and some homes are better than others, and that's where we do that risk assessment. You can't say that it's getting better or getting worse, but certainly looking at the statistics that you mentioned at the start of the show, we are achieving what we want to achieve, and that's preventing fires within the home.
So how does somebody get a fire visit, either if they're phoning up themselves, or maybe it's a loved one looking after somebody? How does it all come about?
Yeah, so in terms of how we carry out home fire safety visits and how we refer people for home fire safety visits, it's totally changed within the last year. So you might have seen us at gala days, things like that, and we'd come over and we'd take an address and a phone number, and then somebody from the fire station or from the community safety department would phone you and book home fire safety visit, and we'd come round and complete that visit. It's totally changed now. So what we want the public to do are self-refer. So the methods of self-referral is online, firescotland.gov.uk. There's also a free phone number that's within or on the website if you can't use the technology or refer yourself that way. So that's the referral methods that we're looking for. Again, partner services can refer to. So what we'd be looking at there is if you work within an organisation or have an organisation that works with clients or service users who meet sort of one of the eligibility criteria that we look for to be able to come out and offer that home fire safety visit, get in touch with us, get signed up to our data sharing framework to allow you to make that referral. I touched there that there was an eligibility criteria. So there is a eligibility criteria now to actually receive an in-person visit, but that doesn't mean that we don't give fire safety advice.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So in terms of self-referring, certainly online, you go online, you fill out a questionnaire, that'll give you a risk score, and if you're not eligible for an in-person visit, you'll still get some bespoke fire safety advice that you can download, print off, share with the family, so everybody's still getting that advice. Yeah,
that's probably really important, because as you say, the eligibility of you actually coming out to visit, but people can go along to the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service website and you can download, think about an evacuation plan. The things that you maybe don't think about, I certainly think about it from going through primary and high school, not yesterday obviously, but the fire service would come out and they would make you draw up a plan for how to get out of your house. Think about these things, having smoke detectors working and have practices, and as you'd imagine, you go into the website, all that information's there and you can download it and make up your own plan for your own house.
Absolutely. So there's digital home safety guides that you can download. I've got one in front of me here, and it's got you can draw within this book your plan. But it's really important to have that plan. So if you think about it, you have fire drills at school, you have fire drills at work. So why don't we have a fire drill at home? Get our young kids used to the noise of the smoke detector. They know what it means. They know exactly what they're going to do if that smoke detector goes off at 2 or 3 in the morning. So everybody's sort of singing on the same hymn sheet. They know, there's no going looking for somebody or, getting stuck in the house, things like that.
Yeah,
so it's really important that we have that fire evacuation plan as well.
Yeah, we're probably all guilty of that as well. We probably haven't thought about it. Of course, that's the nature is there are fewer homes. There's fewer fires in homes these days, so therefore when the risk drops, people's awareness probably drops as well, and it's kind of a double-edged sword that there's a chance actually we might see the numbers potentially go up. But just before we have a wee break, you mentioned your partner agencies, and there's like a web portal that they can register for where they don't have to worry about phone calls and emails. There's actually a way of just going direct to you through your own in-house portal. So how would a partner agency sign up for that if they're not already aware for it?
So partner agencies can get in touch with myself. I'm happy to give out my email address. It's not quite live yet. It's in the process. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks that portal will be live. That will also be found within the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service website as well. So very, very important that we do get these partners signed up, because that's the only way, unfortunately, that we're going to be able to receive referrals for those that are most at risk or most vulnerable or that need a little bit of help from us.
Absolutely, because we're maybe relying on the vulnerable person having a loved one or someone who cares for them, but I suppose in a lot of environments, people are still able to live at home quite comfortably, even though they are a vulnerable person, but maybe they don't have that person who's checking up on them, and maybe we are needing the partner agencies. And it must be quite difficult to sort of manage that. But it's good, like you say, how you're not just looking at the fire safety aspect, you're saying, well, maybe actually we could point in the direction of this particular care system that could maybe support other people as well. It's a nice community aspect to it.
Absolutely, and we do have all the options there. We've built relationships with partner agencies, and we've got that outward referral methods as well. Like I mentioned, deaf services is a really good one for those that are potentially hard of hearing or deaf, and it does work. The kit that these guys can provide really does save lives, and they're quite amazing when you see them in action. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Again, there'll be people listening in hospital who have maybe been completely fit and healthy up until this moment, and illness can strike us all suddenly. We're not expecting it, and suddenly you become one of these vulnerable people. So it's good to have you coming in and having a chat with us and saying that these services exist.
Definitely, and I think another thing to touch on there as well, that we can gain information from that home fire safety visit as well. So potentially you might have mobility issues within the home. You might struggle to get out of the house if there was a fire. So we can actually take all that information, put it onto sort of a system, so our crews know exactly if they get turned out to a property, they know that there's potentially somebody within that property with mobility issues. We can have key safe numbers to allow us access into the home, so we can gain all that information before getting turned out.
That's fascinating. That's really interesting. So again, that preventative side, waiting, rather than waiting until you see what happens when you turn up, that few moments where the officers are on their way to a property, they've got that time to sort of mentally prepare and have a think about what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about the role of an operational firefighter, and part of my role of that is actually managing these incidents, and it's a lot to think about when you're, you get turned out, you're in front of a fire engine, you're trying to plan, but having all that information in front of you, you know exactly what you're going to, even potentially what room somebody will stay in. So yeah, it makes that pre-planning a little bit easier.
And plus, in an emergency situation, seconds might be the difference that it makes,
Definitely.
Yeah. We are still here with Ciaran Melens, who is Watch Commander, and he is the Liaison Officer for the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service. We've been talking about home visits, which is sort of the main focus that you guys have just now. But we're into the summer months, and there's a lot of summer risks that are coming along. One of the ones that seems to be catching the eye in the news quite a lot just now is about water safety, and we've seen, unfortunately, people, particularly younger people, losing their lives in inland water and also coastal water as well. So what's your sort of messaging, and what actions are you taking to try and reduce that risk in the community?
Yeah, so water safety is absolutely massive at the minute, and you talked earlier about the fire service responding to different types of emergencies, and absolutely we're seeing that. We're seeing new emerging risks coming through, whether it be water, flooding or wildfire, but water safety is huge. So what we will actually do, water safety advice-wise, is we work really closely with partners at Water Safe Scotland. We'll get into the schools, we'll give the youngsters that fire safety advice. You'll see us quite a lot probably just now along Dores Beach, Loch Morlich, all these kind of hotspot areas where we'll get the public coming and having fun, and we want the public to have fun, but we want them to do it safely. So it's about educating around the dangers of water, how we can be safe when we're out enjoying ourselves, the things that we can do to perhaps make ourselves a little bit safer. So absolutely it's a big focus within our department, and certainly across Scotland is water safety.
I suppose the way you come across is it's a positive experience. You're not just trying to tell folk, because that, if anything, that almost encourages people to just go and do it out of spite. But the way that you go about it is as important as the information you're passing on, isn't it? You're trying to get people on side with you, and they say, look, we don't want to stop you having fun. We don't want to stop you doing the things you enjoy, but we're giving you some hints and tips and some pointers to do it as safely as possible.
Absolutely, and we ourselves, myself, I really enjoy going out to the water, but I know how to do it safely. So, like you say, having that conversation and learning from each other as well. So perhaps I'll learn from a member of the public something I didn't know, and I can pass that message on. So things that we're looking for in terms of water safety is having an awareness of the water or the body of water, or where you're sort of enjoying yourselves, making sure that you have that personal protective equipment. So whether that be a personal flotation device, a wetsuit. Cold water shock is massive. It's really warm outside today, and that's a big mistake. People think it's really warm, it's 30 degrees outside, I'm going to go and jump in Loch Ness, but actually the water is still very, very cold. So we look at how we can protect ourselves within the water, maybe not going by yourself, or letting somebody know where you're going, having that means of communication, so that if something did go wrong, you could raise the alarm, you could get some help. So these are all things that we can do to make ourselves safe within the water.
I suppose you're going to places like that to remind people that if you do get into trouble, because you can be the best prepared, we can really look after ourselves, be sensible, follow the rules, but things can go wrong. It's life, and it's good that people at least know they've seen you in this vicinity before. Like this is the person to do. Get on to 999, ask for the fire service. I suppose people, if they're asking for the Coast Guard as well, the multi-agency element will be like, right, we'll call out different places, because presumably Inverness, is there like a specific water rescue equipment there, or is it in different areas across the north of Scotland?
So we've got a water rescue unit based at the fire station in Inverness. There's one at Elgin, one down in Fort William. So we'll respond, but like you say, we'll respond with our partner agencies as well. So your Coast Guard, RNLI as well. So Loch Ness, they've got a RNLI lifeboat on Loch Ness. So we work really, really closely with these partner agencies.
And just briefly, you mentioned the wildfire risk, which it's something that's really hit us quite hard in the past few years. Again, we're seeing changes in climate, etc. And am I right in saying that we've got like the Cairngorm forest area? That's like a no fire zone basically just now. You're not allowed to have any sort of fire at all, barbecues, etc. The wee disposable ones, that's all banned now for the summer.
Yeah, so the Cairngorm have brought out their new bylaws. I don't know them word for word, but
of course,
I believe you're absolutely right. It's no naked flames, no barbecues, and I think I support that. We're seeing a lot more of these wildfire incidents last year, down Bay, Knockstrathspey, over the Dava. Incidents like that are a real drain on resources, so if we can prevent them from happening, we can focus having our resources going out to incidents. No,
because they cover such a vast area as well, and then we've got so many other factors that come into it. I know it's slightly as an aside to what we would talk about, like the smoke risk as well, and that affects people's health. People particularly with breathing conditions, COPD, asthma, etc. There's so much, and as you say, these wildfires are over a vast area. So for the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service, that's a huge draw. Well, look, we've touched on sort of the summer risks there, but the key thing about the home fire safety. Why do you just remind us, how do people get in touch with yourselves, not just you directly, but the Fire Rescue Service in general, about arranging one of these visits, or just for some more information?
Yes, so we've got the firescotland.gov.uk. You'll find all information on there in terms of home fire safety visits. I direct people to Water Safety Scotland website as well, and that's got loads of different safety advice and education on how people can keep themselves safe in the water this summer. We've got Road Safety Scotland, so go and have a look at that. There's lots and lots of different websites out there that we can use, but these are sort of the main ones that I would definitely advise having a wee look at.
And in terms of where we might see you out and about, are you doing any of the sort of the main summer events? Because we've got the Highland Games coming up in a few weeks' time. There's we've obviously got Belladrum, that kind of thing. Anything that you will be going out to?
So we will definitely have an attendance at the Black Isle Show this year.
All right.
Moy Games, and over the next couple of weeks I will be working closely with the organisers of these events to see where else we can slot in.
Perfect. Well, look, folks, if you are out and about and you are at one of these events and you see the Fire and Rescue Service there, whether it's the tent, whether they brought one of their fancy fire engines along, go along and say hello, and they'll have their books on home safety, and you can ask them questions. And well, please do just keep in touch with them, because their prevention is the far better way. I'd much rather be phoning the 01463 number is to get in touch with you, rather than have to dial 999 and get in touch with you. So Ciaran, thank you so much for coming in to see us today, and hopefully we'll see you in the passing, because we'll be out and about during the summer seeing different things. But thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we mentioned that, Rory, you weren't here last week, which meant you were away in Belgium. So what was a school trip with Millburn? Yeah. So tell us about it. Where were you?
I was it. So first we went from a ferry from Hull to Rotterdam. Then we came down on a bus into Belgium, and then we spent most of our days in Belgium. Then we went into France for a bit. It was really good. I loved it. It was boiling though. So warm.
Yeah, the temperatures last week, and again, just being that little bit further south would have been something. So was this like was it like visiting Flanders? Is it like a history trip? So tell us about the stuff you were doing.
It was a lot of war memorials and that kind of thing. So looking at all the grave sites was really sad. And we did go to an amusement park in France, which was awesome. Yeah, that was mostly it. It was honestly really good.
Are you a thrill seeker when you go to your theme parks? Are you going on the fastest roller coaster? Are you going upside down? Are you on things that swing you from side to side? What's your go-to?
I would if the queues were shorter, but the queues were like mental when we were there. Yeah,
must be lots of British schools at this time of year going across there as well.
I love
on tours, etc.
I love international schools, which is a bunch of like hundreds of tiny kids running around who I don't speak the same language as, so I don't know what they're talking about, and they're just banging into me all the time, which kind of sucked. But
what's the challenges of being tall? I found this out actually, that there's a picture on our social media that we've put up because we had the students from Millburn Academy on the Youth Philanthropy Initiative, and we'll talk about it later on in the show. But there's a picture of me. Now I know I'm not tall, but as well as that, all these third-year students are surrounding me, and every single one of them is taller than me. It's quite intimidating. So yeah, check out our social media and you can have a look at that. Are you seeing the picture now? He's just seen the picture of me getting absolutely dwarfed by... oh, look, a wee tiny person.
You do, yeah.
And it's not our first encounter with students from Millburn Academy. Hello, Rory. This is actually how we met Rory. So this thing came about, we didn't know about it until last year when we got a message from Rory, in fact, saying, hi, we're doing a thing called the Youth Philanthropy Initiative. And tell us, what does it mean at the school? What do you actually do?
Well, we have to choose a certain charity, then we'll research it, and we have to give a presentation to a group of people saying why we think that charity should have £3,000. Sadly, I didn't win it, but I did do Highland Hospital Radio. But that connected me to the studio, which is why I'm volunteering there. So would you rather have £3,000 or me?
Oh, wow.
Oh, right, okay. Shouldn't have asked that.
Tough question there. No, and do you know what? Hopefully you'll agree with me. When you came in the first time around with your group, I said, if we win it, it's great. Of course it's great. But the fact that we had you coming in to see the studio and, meeting young people who are finding out about Hospital Radio, that for us is as important. Money's nice, of course, but people need to know we're here. That's even more important. Yeah. Last year, as much as unfortunately Rory's team didn't actually win, we were very fortunate to win with Culloden and Nairn. Those two schools managed to choose us and win. This year, however, there was a big upsurge for Highland Hospital Radio at Millburn Academy. I think at one stage there was potentially 3 groups had chosen us, but whether it was whittled down to 1, and we met the students yesterday. I think I'm about to introduce them again, but I'll just remind myself that we had Zion, Leo, Cameron, Jackson and Callum sitting opposite me, and they were wanting to tell me all about what they did for their YPI talk, and I said, well, don't tell me here, come into the studio and why don't we talk about it here? So here's my chat with the guys from yesterday. So we're joined in the studio today by the team from Millburn Academy's Youth Philanthropy Initiative. I'm just going to say YPI for this whole thing because I will trip up on philanthropy every time. We have got Zion, Leo, Cameron, Jackson and Callum. Gentlemen, welcome along to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And, you've brought... I've never actually seen one of these before for real, is the jumbo-size charity cheque. Because, tell us what's happened. Why are you here with this charity cheque?
Well, in S3, everyone in the year had to choose a charity to represent for, the YPI thing. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, only, was it 5?
Five groups were remaining.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the finals. and we all had to present our presentations to the judges.
And we made a mini podcast for ours.
Which I love the sound of it, because obviously from our perspective, creating audio content and putting it out there is great. But you've chosen Highland Hospital Radio as your charity of choice, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've presented it, and your group won. So you had to go through the finals, yes? What was that like? You've had to present it in front of your peers, in front of members of the public. What was that like?
We had to present in front of the judges and certain people from the school. We thought we were going to lose because there were some groups with buzzers and others had cookies trying to bribe the judges.
No, they had whole game shows going on.
It's interesting, but here's the thing. Would you say that if you were doing something like this again, was it good to see other people's ideas and what they would do and try out something different? Yeah.
And in fact, right before the judges put out their decision, Callum and Cameron over here made a bet that Cameron over here would shave his head if we won. And in fact, we've got a check in front of us.
And he's just not sticking to it.
He's just not sticking to the bet.
Listen, Cameron, there's no shame in going bald.
He suits it quite well.
Exactly. I choose to do it. This is completely by choice, you understand. Listen, we've actually, Helen's here as well, and she comments on how awesome all of your hairstyles are and the amount of work you put into it. All I can say is, enjoy it while you can, okay? I'll show you pictures of me. I used to have my hair down past my shoulders.
Really?
Yeah, that's obviously what I did, is I let it grow too long that it all just came out in the end. So, you, here's the thing. What made you choose Highland Hospital Radio? What was it that made you think that this was the charity that you wanted to represent as part of the YPI?
Just like a local place, I guess.
I think a big part for Callum is because yous all thought he had nice hair.
At last, finally, Helen paying compliments about people's hair is one out for us. But you must have a list of different charities to choose from. Is that how it works? And then what made this one stand out?
I think it was when you came to the school and then speaking to you and then coming into the studio and finding out what you actually did and how it keeps people in the hospital happy in a pretty bad place.
Yeah.
That quite stuck out to us all. We quite liked what you guys were doing. So you guys were our choice then.
And we're really grateful. Do you all do music tech? Is it just some of you? Zoran, you said you do music tech.
No, not all of us.
I do music, not music tech.
Music, yeah. So was that something that sort of drew you towards it? I mean, were you all put together as a group, or were you just a group of friends that how did it all come about that yous were the group that came about?
We just we had select groups, we're going to groups, and since we're all just friends, we're just gonna
I wasn't in their group.
Yeah, it started off with us four, and he gradually came along.
I gradually drifted in, and we kind of just stuck together after that.
No, it's great. So tell me, you had to come in and see us. Obviously, you had to do some research about it. Did you have to produce anything to display on the day? What was your presentation like? Tell us.
I would say it was quite sweet and simple.
See, I like.
So we had a board with some images and a bit about the charity, and then we had a little presentation and obviously our podcast, and then it all kind of linked together.
So nobody else is doing a podcast, I'm guessing.
No.
So that's what probably made it stand out as well, because you're trying something different instead of just bribing judges, which has been happening for hundreds of years. Yeah. You're doing something different, and that makes it stand out, which is great.
Yeah.
What would you say, other than just doing this for the charity and finding out about the charity? What other skills do you think you've learnt from doing this task? What would you say you take away? Do you think that you've learnt some life skills or something that's going to help you later on?
In fact, we got asked the same question by the judges, didn't we?
I think it helped us as a group and our teamwork and things.
Yeah, team building.
As well as individual skills that we can keep through life.
Yeah, because we didn't get much help for we were kind of just on ourselves having to make our presentation, so you need quite a lot of creativity for that. So yeah.
I'd say we're quite a creative bunch.
Yeah. Well, it must be difficult because you don't really know what people are looking for. What's the, what's going to make your presentation stand out? What is it the judges are looking for? Yeah. Did you get any idea of that? Was a remit or criteria of what you should be trying to do, or was it quite simply just really go for it?
Just go for it, really.
There was a little template, but we didn't really want to follow that. Thought we'd do our own thing.
Well, it's worked for us, and. You've brought in this check. It says Youth Philanthropy Initiative Scotland, pay Highland Hospital Radio £3,000, which, can I just say, I mean, so I, as well as being one of the presenters, I'm the chair of the charity, right, which is the sort of the boring side of things, but I keep getting told it's the important side of things. It's not the boss. It's not the boss. And see, for us, that money is such a phenomenal sum, because we're quite a small charity in terms of how much money we create every year, or how much we need to keep the service going. So for that amount of money is just absolutely phenomenal. And my station manager has already found ways of spending it to help our outside broadcast. So we've got some events coming up in the summer, and that money is actually going to really help us be able to broadcast live. So we can actually go to events, so people who are listening in hospital, whether here at Regmore or across the whole of the NHS Highlands, they'll be able to at least, be stuck in hospital, but listen in and hear what's going on outside in the community, and we can work with other charity partners and bring them in as well. And this is such a phenomenal gift to us. So from everybody at Highland Hospital Radio, first of all, congratulations on winning, because as much as, forget about the charity side of things, it's a competition at the end of the day, and you guys won, so that deserves thanks, because obviously your thing stood out so much amongst the others, and I'm sure the other ones were really high quality as well.
They were.
Oh yeah, like honestly, see, when I heard Highland Hospital Radio on the thing, I had to think twice for a second. I was so surprised.
So commiserations to the others, but hopefully the whole experience has been really beneficial for you.
It was quite enjoyable as well, yeah.
Ah, good. And it's something better than just, right, okay, well, I've got double English this morning, and then I've got science or whatever. But thank you so much. You guys are going in from third year now into fourth year, so fourth year sort of started. Yeah. How's your timetable? What are you thinking?
It's all right.
And it's National Fives coming up this year. How do you feel about that, coming into your sort of first year of exams and preparing for that?
Not revise quite a lot.
I'm not feeling too bad at the moment for it though.
Listen, it's okay to be confident like that, but you're spot on, Zion, that there's so much, so much to do. Well, look, I hope that this whole experience has been great for you, and it really helps you in later life or all the way through your school. If there's ever anything we can do, I've actually been in touch with your teachers and said, look, if we can do something in return, if we can come along to the school, if you've got an event coming up or something and we can help out in some way, please let us know. And you know what, the door's always open, so if you ever want to pop in and say hi, it'd be great to have you. So yeah,
Cameron, I reckon you get your haircut done here then.
Live hair, yes, absolutely. Well, look, Cameron, here's the thing, you've come to the right guy, because I don't go to hairdressers, I just do it myself. So I've got the clippers.
Yeah, exactly. Cameron, plus it's easy to maintain. You just wake up.
It's easy to maintain.
If I ever go through this bat, I'll get it done here.
No problem.
Really, you're gonna go through it then? Like you shook on it and everything.
I will
pay for it. Yes, you did.
Well, look, I don't want to leave it in an argument, so we're going to say well done, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you
very much.
And we'll hopefully see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye.
Best Boomerang, Jojo Siwa. All came about through Dance Moms, that's M-O-M. Pushy mothers get their daughters to dance and dye their hair different colours and make them, it's a bit one of these odd shows from the time.
It's
very much of its time. That was the sort of thing you would got in on MTV when MTV stopped playing music, wasn't it? Definitely. So this is Guess the Year. We've got some clues for you that's going to point you in the right direction. Give us a wee message, studio@hhr.scot, if you think you know. The best way to do it, of course, is on our socials, where we have posted some clues for you. But Rory, you're going to start with some music and radio clues, please.
Yes, so in music and radio, the best-selling single of this year is One Dance by Drake, featuring Wizkid and Kyla. The best-selling album is Adele's 25. At the Brit Awards this year, hosted by Anton Deck, David Bowie is awarded Brit Icon Award only a few weeks after his passing. This award was collected on his behalf by Gary Oldman. Not to be confused with the old version that would have become Absolute Radio, Virgin Radio debuts in this year. The station launched from a live Virgin Trans service from Manchester to London with Edith Bowman and Matt Richardson presenting. 2 long-serving BBC presenters would retire in this year. In September, Robbie Shepherd presents the final episode of Take the Floor on BBC Radio Scotland.
I have to ask, do you know what Take the Floor is? Have you ever heard it?
No clue. What is it?
On Radio Scotland, it's a proper heedle, 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 and it was always on after the live football on a Saturday. So if you left the live football on, you got a bit of Robbie Shepherd and Take the Floor.
Please tell me we recorded what you just did there.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
There's the meme right there.
Thank God. In October, Desmond Carrington presents his final performance for BBC Radio 2 after 37 years at the station.
And in TV in this year, it was the opening episode of the 18th series of Midsummer Murders on ITV. However, I want to see if you can guess. The episode contains something very unusual for this programme. Can you guess what was unusual about the opening episode of the 18th series of Midsummer Murders?
No one gets murdered?
Correct. Nobody got murdered in this episode. Barbara Windsor makes her final appearance in EastEnders as her character Peggy Mitchell is killed off. The storyline would see the return of Ross Kemp to the show, playing the role of her son Grant Mitchell. The third series of Channel 4's The Jump causes controversy as a large number of the contestants suffer a range of injuries while competing. The most serious saw former gymnast Beth Tweddle require surgery to fuse two vertebrae. This is the one where they tried to teach celebrities how to do ski jumping.
I'm sure that ended well.
And it didn't go well in this year. This year would see the relaunch of Top Gear, including new presenter Chris Evans. However, his tenure would end in the same year, saying he was not a good fit. The former Top Gear presenters, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May, launched their new show, The Grand Tour. What was going on in the world? No, I'll tell you what, I'll do sport and you can have movies. How does that sound?
Perfect.
You like your movies. In sport, if you don't get it from this, I don't know what will. The World Indoor Bowls Championships are held in Great Yarmouth. It's a good year for England as Nick Brett and Ellen Faulkner win the men's and women's titles respectively for the host nation. At Wimbledon, the women's singles title is won by Serena Williams, while the men's title is won for the second time by Andy Murray. Leicester City win the English Premier League. They were rated originally at 5,000 to 1 before the season started by bookies. It was one of these incredible seasons where it was a break from tradition and one of the wee Diddy teams did well. Yeah. And we don't like to give it away, but some summer sport happens in Rio. That's all we're saying. Some summer sport happens in Rio. But what was going on at the box office?
Well, at the movies, according to the UK Cinema Association, so this is like the highest grossing films in the UK. At number 5, we have Finding Dory at £42.9 million.
Great film.
No, I didn't like it.
Wow.
Finding Nemo's better.
Yeah, okay, fair. But, okay. I can't argue with that. Yep.
At number 4 is The Jungle Book.
So, yes, the live-action remake, which is
Yeah.
what Disney do these days. It's cheating, basically.
46.2 million. Did you see the Moana movie that's coming out soon, the live action?
I've seen clips of it because obviously it's The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is doing it, isn't he?
His hair is so funny.
Is
He's actually got hair.
The thing is, that's weird in itself. I don't get why. Well, obviously I know why they're doing it because it makes them money, but it just seems like cheating to take a really good animated film and decide they have to, make it again. Anyway, it's cheating.
At number 3 is Bridget Jones's Baby with 48.1 million.
Speaking about bringing things back from years ago to try and make again, I've never seen it. I've seen the original Bridget Jones Diary, but I've not seen any of the other ones, so I can't comment, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they made an even newer one recently, I think.
Really?
Yeah, in 2024, I think. Don't think it was that good.
Okay, it didn't do well.
Yeah. Number 2 was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter spin-off with £52.1 million. Mm-hmm. Terrible film. And number 1 is the best Star Wars film.
Oh, outstanding comment. Yes, please.
Yeah, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story with 56.4 million. That is actually how I got Guest of the Year from that film.
From that film.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think that's probably the last film I went to see at the cinema. I'm not a cinema person, right? I don't want to give too much away, but I don't like enclosed spaces. I don't like the dark. So cinema, and as well as that, I've got such a poor attention span that sit in a cinema for 2 hours. I know that you're a big cinema person, Rory, and you love going to see films, but that film was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, incredible.
Now, maybe you got it right away, but maybe I'm just a bit slow. I mean, I love my Star Wars. I've watched all the films, but it took me so long. It was almost at the end before I realised, oh my God, none of them are going to make it because that leads into the next part. And
it's so brilliant.
So I've never watched it again. I've only watched it once because it was too sad for me. Too sad.
Yeah.
Great film though. In the news this year, if you haven't, like Rory's got it already, but in case you haven't, here's some more clues. British astronaut Tim Peake conducts his first spacewalk. This would be the first official spacewalk for a British astronaut, okay? Michael Foale did it previously, but he had a US flag on his arm because you couldn't... If you went with NASA back then, you had to say you were US, I think. I don't know what the rules were. It's like Helen Sharman was the first British woman in space, but she was actually a cosmonaut. She went up with a Russian flag on when she did it. Sadiq Khan becomes Mayor of London, succeeding Boris Johnson, whatever happened to him. And Theresa May becomes Prime Minister following David Cameron, which all came about because of a vote. And that's all we're saying on that. Shall we get into the music? What's our next song from the year, Rory?
Our next song is Good Grief by Bastille.
Yeah. So it's Good Grief, Bastille. But what was the year from our hits and headlines clues. Rory, you got it spot on right
Yes, I
away. What was our mystery year?
Our mystery year was 2016.
Correct. Well done. Our guest was slightly out. You don't get a T-shirt for 3 years out, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Tom,
Yes, Jess.
isn't it time?
For Beat Detective? Shannon's going to be very jealous.
I know she is. I didn't even do it justice.
I think you did it pretty well. Beat Detective is it's this mystery character who enters the studio every week to lay on a cryptic message for us. They go in and see what the last song is on the show, leave us a cryptic calling card, and from that we need to try and deduce what the song is. Rory, you've got the clue in front of you. Do you want to read out the clue for us?
Yes, I do. So the clue for the artist is these twins make announcements publicly. And the clue for the song is this part of Edinburgh? Either way, the weather's nice. So the artist is these twins make announcements publicly. And for the song, is this part of Edinburgh? Either way, the weather is nice.
So there you go. There is your Beat Detective. The clue is available for you to have a look at on Facebook and Instagram. A friend of the show has already commented a correct answer.
Ooh.
Huge news. It's Neil from Archie has got in touch. So he's already right. So if you do look at Facebook, just be aware, don't look at the comments just yet if you're still want to have a wee guess yourself. Or go to Instagram and be the first to comment on Instagram, then you can claim that you were ahead of Neil. So yeah, the Beat Detective, we'll give it one more time, and let's go for it again. Rory.
For the artist, these twins make announcements publicly. And for the song, is this part of Edinburgh? Either way, the weather is nice.
Superb. So that's your Beat Detective. Get in touch, studio at hhr.scot. On the HHR Radio app, click message the studio and check us out on your social media as well. It is time to take a wee breather and chill out after some fun and games from the Punk Rock Factory with a drop in to the NHS Highland Coffee Corner. This is where we bring you up to date with all the latest happenings in your NHS Highland community. Now, I got a message from Beverly, who is the lead at NHS Highland on realistic medicine. Keep it real, kids. That is what they're wanting to say. Now, the NHS Highland is delighted to have been selected to present a poster at the Realistic Medicine 2026 National Conference. Now, you only get 20 submissions for the whole of the NHS Scotland, and they were really delighted that they got their poster displayed. The achievement highlights the dedication of colleagues embedding realistic medicine and value-based health and care principles into everyday practice, ensuring care aligns with what matters most to patients and communities. The poster, it's a really funky poster as well, highlights collaborative work across teams, including meaningful conversations with patients. So that's, you've heard us talking about Bran, asking questions and having a good communication with your clinician, shared decision making, but driving improvements that reduce harm and waste while enhancing outcomes. They have had an increase of 42% in healthy meal orders since new menus were introduced. This was all down at the children's unit. They've changed the menu that they have at the children's unit to make it more child friendly.
Oh.
So not just the actual food itself, right, but the actual menu itself. So it's like a bit more colourful. It's got a picture of Nessie on it to try and encourage the kids to eat a bit better.
Don't they have a Nessie outside the windows in the open rooms?
They do have there's a massive Nessie right outside the door of the Highland Children's Unit. They've got some dolphins.
They have the dolphins because you got in trouble for, wasn't it there was something making a noise out there and a small child was like, no, that's not that.
I said, do you think it's the dolphins making the noise? And this wee boy looked at me as if I was like, duh, of course it's not.
And then he ran back to
it's
his mum away from me.
3-year-old child telling me how silly I was. But yeah, they've really improved the experience for the kids in the children's unit, and it's encouraged them to eat healthier, which is really important. So the initiatives demonstrate the practical ways realistic medicine principles are being embedded locally, helping to improve both patient outcomes and staff experience while making best use of resources. Beverly, who works at Realistic Medicine, she's like, she knows, the main thing, of course, is the clinical staff and you're delivering, the medical care. But the mental health awareness is really important as well, because if you're like the hospital radio cheers you up a wee bit, if the food's decent, that's going to contribute to your health and well-being along with the actual care that you're getting. So this is the idea behind it. I've got a quote here from Boyd Peters, who is the executive lead for Realistic Medicine. He said, "Realistic medicine is central to how we deliver care in NHS Highland, placing people and what matters most to them at the heart of everything we do, including recognising the important role of nutrition in supporting health and recovery." Boyd, we need to get you on side with Hospital Radio and say that Hospital Radio is a really critical part of recovery as well, yeah?
Yeah, because it is.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Rory, what's your views on pancakes?
Tom, do you like pancakes?
I do like pancakes, of course, yeah.
Of course you do. The only thing better than pancakes are pancakes that are raising money for a good cause. Congratulations to the Rosebank Wing at Caithness General who supported the pancake stall the RNLI Lifeboat Day, raising £150 for lifeboat stations in Thurso and Wick, who help protect the Caithness coastline in the North Sea.
You're right, a pancake is the best. Right, okay, I'm going to call out here. What do you have on your pancake?
Chocolate syrup.
We've got a chocolate syrup. Any advances on chocolate syrup?
Chocolate and strawberries, or just maple syrup.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maple syrup, yeah. Would you not just have a plain pancake with a bit of butter on it?
No.
No, because it's just not enough. Like,
What do you mean it's not enough?
you're acting like you have that
plain.
all the time. You literally put so much, like you put like maple syrup on it and everything.
Different pancake experience, okay? So what I mean is, if it's like breakfast pancakes, so if you're like cooking up, making up your own batter and we're frying it, we've got the griddle at home to make the best pancakes possible, then yeah, that's a maple syrup. That is a...
So you're saying like the crepe pancakes, the ones that you can roll over, are butter?
No, you know the ones that you get like when you go to the baker's? So if you just get a packet of the wee small pancakes, you're not like cooking them fresh and they're quite stodgy and thick. That's the ones I would just put some butter on. Maybe even a bit of jam. No.
I'd say you'd still go chocolate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, well, fair enough. Moving on. NHS Highland are inviting you to join them for upcoming research engagement sessions in Inverness and Wick. NHS Research Scotland, Neuroprogressive and Dementia Network are delighted to be hosting a series of sessions across the Highlands to talk about their research. These events are a great opportunity to learn about research in dementia, Parkinson's and other neuroprogressive conditions and how to get involved. Whether you are living with a condition, supporting someone or simply interested in research, everyone is welcome. Come along and meet the team, ask questions and find out how research is making a difference. These events are taking place at New Craig's up the top of Larkenbrae. The seminar room, which is on Monday the 6th of July, so that's, I'm trying to think, where are we in the calendar just now? It's a week on Monday, and that's from 12 noon until 1 and then again 1 until 2. So New Craig's Hospital seminar room. Then also on Monday the 6th of July, later on in the day between 6 and 7, they'll be at the Barn Church at Culloden. Then on... What have I done?
6 and 7.
6 and 7.
Oh my goodness. That's... You should both be ashamed of yourself for that. Anyway, at the barn, I'm delivering some important information here. Barn Church, Culloden, Monday, 6th of July, 6-7. The Mimic Room. And so on Tuesday, the Mimic Room assembly rooms in Wick. Okay, so for people up in Wick, Tuesday the 7th of July between 5:30 and 6:30. 7. Right. It's the end of June, so Highland Power of Attorney Month has drawn to a close. The NHS Highland Facebook page has been showing some positive cases for power of attorney and how, should the time come, a person who is unable to make the important life decisions for themselves, having a power of attorney arranged has made decision making and care much simpler for loved ones and carers. Although the month may be drawing to a close, full information is always available at the NHS Highland website. Just head over to nhshighland.scot.nhs.uk/POA and get your power of attorney sorted out. Eventually there will come a time, young Jess, where I'll sign a bit of paper that means you get to make all the important decisions for me. There's something to look forward to. Sort out your power of attorney. So that was your NHS Highland Coffee Corner. More next week for that. Shall we do the Beat Detective answer, folks? Rory, why don't you give us the question one more time, please?
So, our clue for the artist was, these twins make announcements publicly, and for the song, is this part of Edinburgh? Either way, the weather is nice.
So, Jess, was it what you thought it was?
It wasn't, because I cheated and got it wrong
You
somehow.
cheated and looked at the end of the show. Some people would argue that that's just clever, but... the twins make announcements publicly. If you make an announcement publicly, what are you doing? Are you proclaiming something?
Yes.
And they are
Maybe.
famous twins, Scottish musicians. This is from 1987, this song. Is it part of Edinburgh? Leith have a big thing about, are they part of Edinburgh? Are they not part of Edinburgh? Who knows? Either way, the weather is nice. Yes, it is Sunshine on Leith. It's good, eh? So I'll leave you with that. James is up next. Bye from all of us.
Bye.
Stay tuned to Highland Hospital Radio. So that was your Saturday drop-in for this week. Guys, thanks very much for your help. I appreciated it.
That's all right.
Yeah, Rory kind of got thrown into the deep end there because you arrived and I was like, oh, by the way, Shannon's not here, so guess what? You're now co-hosting the show.
Yeah.
And Jess, if you'd just also give us some input there, that'd be great. Good show. I enjoyed the fire safety stuff. Really useful information. See, I'm thinking, surely at your age, you've had the fire brigade coming in recently to talk about bits and pieces.
We've not. We had them. They came in S1 to talk about bonfire night, and that's the last time they've been in.
All right, well, we'll say to Ciaran, could you keep up to date?
Well, they're there whenever someone pulls a fire alarm. So I guess they do come quite often.
Does that still happen in schools?
That still happens quite a lot. People being caught on cameras because they put cameras in the area pointing down to the fire alarm there.
Well, I'm glad to see that some things haven't changed at school because it was the same when I was at school as well. Hopefully Shannon will be feeling a bit better and she'll be back again next week. But I believe Rory is writing next week's show.
Yes, I am.
So, Guess the Year and Beat Detective, are you up for that?
Yeah, of course.
And you'll be on this side driving the desk for us with help. We're not just going to throw you in at the deep end. But
Again.
Until then, if you are listening in hospital, we hope that you are feeling better soon. If you do get home soon, listen to us on your smart speaker. Just simply ask Alexa to play Highland Hospital Radio. Download the HHR Radio app. There's lots of great shows, including Hits Different, and eventually we'll get Rory's own show as well. But we will catch up with you next time. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.